Good morning. Welcome in to the G.S.Q.H. Making it Monday. What a sports week. What a sports weekend. It was rough. It was rough. Colorado, Buffaloes, UCLA. They lost again. We got to get used to that and expect that from the Buffaloes until they fix their issues, their in-house problems, which is secondary, offensive line. Obviously, that's something that's not going to be fixed overnight. So you got to look at this season. It's a lot of teams that they're going to play. They're going to be outmatched. They can play hard, and they can try to do their best to play mistake-free football. But the end result is that you're going to lose most of the games you play. So it's hard to watch, but we're going to continue to support them. The Buffaloes going to continue to watch. Hope they get it together soon. If not this season, next season. Hope Deion get the 7 to 8 players he's looking for because he need them expedited immediately. Houston Texans. That one was a tough one as well. They had every opportunity to win this game. They got the ball on multiple occasions when they were up by 1 point and couldn't do anything with it. It's like we handed this game to the Panthers. They were going to take it. I mean, they couldn't get nothing going pretty much the whole game. But if you keep giving them the ball, they're going to catch some kind of rhythm, and they're going to end up gashing you for a play to put them in scoring position. And it just was unfortunate, man, that Houston kept stalling out the way they did to lose a game that favored to win. What was it, 3 points? So this one was tough to go down 13 to 15 in this kind of ball game. C.J. Stroud, he didn't have a terrible game, but he just had a basic game. He was 16 for 24, 140 yards, 5.8 on average, no touchdowns and no interceptions. So it was just one of those cookie cutter games for him. Not a whole lot of yards in the air. That hurt him. The standout pretty much was Dameon Pierce with the 46 yards, 3.8 on average. He ran the ball real strong. I think the highlight of that offense was the running game. They had the three-headed monster in there running and keeping everybody fresh. But other than that, the wide receivers, they just caught a ball here and there to keep a little bit of rhythm going that they had at certain points of the game. But no big standouts on offense. So it was very tough for these Texans to come in and lose that game coming off the bye week. I mean, all is not lost for the season. Of course, you could turn it around. But like I said, the schedule doesn't get any easier as you go down the line. You're going to find yourself in trouble when you start getting down to the bottom half of the season when you need those wins. When wins like this could have helped you out. So you don't want to start depending on people if you're barely trying to make the playoffs. And y'all are putting yourselves in position to where y'all going to be in or out by 1 game or 2 games. And you don't want to put yourself in that position. To me, it was just a lot of plays left on the field that the Texans left out there. A lot of plays. I mean, talk about trying to score in the red zone. Talk about trying to get to the red zone. So they had all kind of problems on offense. Secondary didn't play as well. A lot of people got free. The defense, they played good in spurts, but it wasn't sustainable to try to really close out and win the game. They only gave up 15 points, but you got to understand it was the Carolina Panthers. They were 0-6 for a reason. So it wasn't no high-powered offense that just moved up and down the field. So they scored 15 points, and you would think, well, the Texans defense, they played an outstanding game. They played an okay game, but you got to stay focused the whole game. Because if not, you're going to have key guys getting first downs, like this guy got spotlighted up here in Adam Thielen, who hurt them pretty bad. He was pretty much the player of the game to me. He had 8 catches for 72 yards, but that one for first down, that was the one that sealed the game. When you need it the most, it was a funky play. I mean, 2 wide receivers pretty much in the same area. And the guy who was trying to get it, he realized that the ball wasn't for him. And he was like, he jumps back. Thielen catches the ball. That's a tough play right there. That's why it's a game of inches, man. If we stop that right there, we could be talking about a different story here. But Thielen picked up that first down, and that was a big play by him. For us, Dameon Pierce, you can put him as a highlight. You can put C.J. Stroud. Like I say, C.J. Stroud played a cookie-cutter game. Nothing that pops off the charts, but he didn't turn it over. But he didn't score the ball either. Well, you want to say he scored the ball on a quarterback sneak, then hey, have at it. But Bryce Young, he started out sluggish. We didn't take advantage of his woes early on in the ball game. We was getting him, knocking him around, putting him down. But he came out with a okay game for a guy who was getting sacked as much as he did. I mean, he got sacked 6 times. He was 22 for 31, 235 yards, 7.6 on average, 1 touchdown pass, no picks. So the debut did not look good for C.J. Stroud. Want to get back at his old buddy. It was right there for the taking, and it just slips away. They have these games in the bag, and they find a way to lose them in the end. It's just not finishing ball games, and it's very frustrating coming down the stretch when it's just 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Whatever the case may be, you find a way to lose it. It can be a fumble. It could be an interception. It's because you have a mental breakdown and want to run out the clock, and a team just gets momentum and they just end up running on you and taking the win away. So it's tough. It really is tough. So Houston dropped the ball on this one for sure. Even the Rockets, since we're talking about them, dropped the ball in San Antonio over the weekend, and then last night as well against Golden State. I expect them to lose against Golden State Warriors, but I expected them to win against San Antonio Spurs. See, Golden State Warriors, that have been house money. You pull that game out, you pull it out. But if you lose it, nobody's saying too much about it. But you gave them a good game, and it almost went down to the stretch until Curry broke loose. You know what I mean? Curry is a Hall of Famer. He's a clutch guy. He was just sitting back in the weeds. Only had 3 points at halftime, but when the crowd got into it, it seemed like Houston was making a run. Curry was like, okay, this is enough. Hit 2 threes back-to-back, basically, and put the last nail in the coffin on Houston. So you got to expect that from Golden State. That's a veteran team. It's a championship team. Those guys seen it, and they've been there plenty of times before. And, you know, you're going to lose that one. If you beat San Antonio, then that loss on Sunday against Golden State, it wouldn't have mattered that much. That was a great team. You lost 2, you gave them a good battle, and you just end up losing it down the stretch. But at the same time, you have to learn from it every game. You can't keep losing games in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes or under. You just can't do that. You have to learn off of these mistakes. We know what Curry is. You should have been glued to him 24/7. I know it's not easy, but as a collective unit, I've seen it done. Y'all did it in some spurts of the game where he gave up the ball, got it back. We ran him off the 3-point line. But hey, it's tough to guard a guy like that. He's just too great. But we'll get into the box sheet on the Rockets here in a minute. As far as the rushing game for Carolina, we outrushed them, 110-44. Passing, they got us pretty much on passing. As far as Adam Thielen, he had 8 catches, 72 yards, 9 on average. 31 was his long. Jonathan Mingo, he had 4 catches of 62 yards, 15.5 on average. 40 was his long. Then Chuba Hubbard and so forth. Chuba Hubbard, that's a name, ain't it? Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. And really no highlight. The game should have been taken care of, but it wasn't. And you just got to swallow, you just got to move on to the next. Try to continue to get into the win column. That's all you can do. Let's go check out these Rockets real quick. All right, so the Rockets and the Warriors, 106-95 is what it went down. Houston was pretty much in this ball game. They spread it out to a double-digit lead here and there a couple of times, Golden State Warriors. But the Rockets wasn't giving up. They kept fighting, getting back in the game. Rockets just make too many mistakes down the stretch, whether it's turnovers or just missing shots, and everybody contributed to missing shots Sunday night. Just couldn't hit it. I think they were under 40% shooting as a team. That's not going to do it beating the Golden State Warriors. You have to be sharp. You got to be on your game anytime the Golden State Warriors come into your building. And they hung around. Even with bad shooting, Houston had a chance to win this ball game. No doubt about that. They played tough. They was on some assignments. They had Curry down to 3 points going into halftime. And that wasn't by accident. I mean, he wasn't trying to be too aggressive, but Houston was jumping the screens. They were rotating. They was making sure they run him off the three-point line, which you have to do with this guy and Klay Thompson, because if not, they will shoot you completely out of the building. But the effort was there for Houston tonight. Ever since, really, Orlando game, Houston been coming out with the effort. They've been fighting and they've been hustling, trying to win ball games, but they just get up to that fourth quarter and it'd be a mistake here and there down the stretch that cost them the game. Either bad shooting, or is it turnovers, or is free throws, or bad decisions. Whatever the case may be, it cost them to lose a ball game. And you got to expect that with a young ball club. That's going to happen time to time again. But you also have to learn from it. When you go into the next ball game, you don't keep on repeating these things. So they had a shot to win it on Sunday night, but you're dealing with a veteran ball club, like we said before, and you give them any crack, they're going to take advantage of it. And reason why we got Curry highlighted up here, because he basically put him to sleep. He laid in the weeds pretty much the whole game, and then he came up with two big three-pointers that basically put Houston to sleep. That was crunch time. It came at a time where Houston was trying to make a run. The crowd was getting into it. Felt like Curry felt that, and he was like, let's end this right now. And he threw up two flamethrowers, man, and it put them to sleep. Put the last nail in the coffin on Houston hopes of winning the ball game. I mean, those shooters, man, just a three here and there, you're down by 2 or 3. Next thing you know, you're down by double digits in a matter of seconds with the snipers they have on the ball club. But like I said, it's no surprise. I didn't expect Houston to beat Golden State. I knew if they came like they played against San Antonio, they were going to have an opportunity down in crunch time. Just didn't want to get blown out. Any team can be beat on any given night. Don't get me wrong. If you was going to lose a ball game, when you play Golden State, you pretty much can mark that up unless something else happens and you end up getting lucky or catch them snoozing and sleeping, or they beat themselves. Because sometimes Golden State can beat themselves by turning over the ball. They're a high turnover team because they take a lot of risk. You know, they like to pass and move with the ball. And if they're not sharp and they're kind of lackadaisical throughout games, because sometimes when you play a great team like Golden State, they sleepwalk a lot. Not only in basketball, but in football too. I mean, when you have these great, the Dallas Cowboys back in the day used to do that. The Lakers, they used to do that. And they probably still do it to this day. But great teams, sometimes they know they can beat you. They know they're good. So they'll come out there and just fill the game out. You know, they need something to wake them up. Like you going on a run, or you hitting a three and you starting to feel yourself. The crowd's getting into it. And then they just say, okay, it's time to go. Curry was like, okay. And when he was hitting those threes, it's like he knew it was coming. He's over here doing all this stuff, grabbing his face. The man's a legend. The man is a legend. He just the greatest shooter we ever seen. And he can change a game anytime he gets ready. So let's call out the double-digit figure scores in this game. Wiggins had 13 points. Pretty much that's it for him. The man didn't grab no rebounds. He didn't have no assists, no steals, no blocks. He was 4 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 on 3. He got 4 for 5 from the free throw line, but 13 points. That was a steal 13. But like I said, when you got a flamethrower like this guy with 24 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 6 for 6 at the free throw line, which is no shock, 6 for 14 from the three-point line, that's definitely not no shock. 6 for 16 from the field. So Curry sleepwalking, having 3 points at halftime. The guy still stumbles into 24 points, not even being really aggressive. Only time he was aggressive when he said, okay, let's turn the lights out on this game. Wynn hit those 2 dagger threes and pretty much sealed it at that point. So, yeah, man, this guy here is something special. And you got to keep an eye on him at all times on defense. Even when he's giving up the ball, you got to stay glued to him. Any defender that's guarding Stephen Curry, his assignment is just your assignment. Don't worry about what else is going on. You stay glued to him, following him around the floor. You got to be well conditioned, but your job is to not give him a crack of daylight. And me personally, if I'm guarding Stephen Curry, I want him shooting twos the whole game. I don't care about the twos. If we're giving him almost uncontested layups at some points, so be it. It's not 3 points. We got a better chance of winning the game going 2 for 2 with him instead of going 3 for 2 with him. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, run him off the three-point line. Let him go in with floaters. Let him drive all the way to the bucket. But stop all these heroic threes that he puts up, him and Klay Thompson. 19 points for Klay Thompson. He had 4 rebounds, 1 block, 5 for 10 from the three-point line, 7 for 12 from the field. So they kind of mimic each other a little bit, Steph and Klay. You know, their numbers are pretty similar. And they just won the game for them because nobody else is really doing anything when you look at it. Nobody else is really doing anything. They had Gary Payton, the second, step up big. His percentage is good. He's got a plus 13. And nothing big jumping off on their box sheet. I mean, a 24 from Stephen Curry, you got 19 from Klay Thompson, and you got 15 from Gary Payton. If you was going to beat the Golden State Warriors, Sunday night was the time to beat them. It was. They didn't come out hot. They wasn't playing crisp. They wasn't running up and down the floor trying to take Houston out. It was a game that they could have grabbed pretty easily. Pretty easily. If they'd have just been woke and paid more attention to details, knowing Curry is going to strike a match sooner or later because he only had 3 points at halftime. He was going to get aggressive at some point. Should have been waiting on that. Get your rebounds. That's another thing that hurts Houston. They allow offensive rebounds to the other team so much, man. They play so good defense just to get it erased by somebody going in there, grabbing an offensive rebound, putting it right back in, or drawing a foul, going to the free throw line, putting it in for 2 points. So they shoot themselves in the foot a lot. Jabari Smith, after a tough night against San Antonio, being down on himself, he came back. It's not a big game, but he made some key shots, 14 points. He had 2 steals, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. He was 2 for 6 on 3. He's still trying to find a shot from long distance, 6 for 12 from the field. So it was a good little bounce back game for him. I'm pretty sure he'd like to score 25, 30 points. But for a comeback game, for the way he played and shots he was missing in San Antonio, that's a good comeback for him. Dillon Brooks, we can't say enough about Dillon Brooks. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 2 for 5 from the three-point line. He was 4 for 10. Nothing really stands out right there for you, but I tell you what, he sets the tone for the Houston Rockets. We're not expecting too much offense from him, but he's been giving us offensive production with his defense, hounding people. So you can't say enough from this guy. The pickup was huge, getting Dillon Brooks. He can provide some offense as well as shutting down or at least making it hard for the other team's best player. And Şengün, he had another nice night, 19 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 7 for 15 from the field. He was 1 for 2 on his three-pointers. So he hit a 3 against San Antonio, and he hit a 3 against Golden State. He's been the consistent offense that Houston needed coming into these games. He's been very consistent. He has to get more touches, in my opinion. Long as he's not irking and jerking, you know how we feel about that. Long as he's getting the ball and going up strong and making a decisive move on what he wants to do and not hesitating too much, he deserves to get more touches. Fred VanVleet had a tough shooting night, 8 points, 2 steals, 4 assists. We're not really trying to expect scoring from VanVleet, the carrier, game in and game out. That shouldn't be his job. His job is to set up this offense. being a general on the floor, teaching these guys how to win and how to be in the right, corrected spots. But if he gives you points and he blows up for 25, 30 points, we'll take that as well. But don't expect him to come in every game and just start hoisting shots and trying to get 22 and 25 on an average. No, we don't need that. He can feel when we need some scoring, and he'll just take over from there. But Jalen Green, guys like Jalen Green and Jabari Smith, they need to carry the bulk of the scoring. That's why it's very critical that these guys try to find their rhythm. They provide the bulk of the scoring along with Shagun, and then you can have a balance. But these guys have just been having some off nights, some bad shooting nights. Jalen Green, 21 points, 9 rebounds, which is a shock because usually he don't have that many rebounds. I wish he did every game. He needs to get in there and grab more rebounds. 1 assist. He's not really a high assist guy. He's going to have to pick that up on assists as well. He's got to fill out a lot more categories than just being a one-trick pony, just shooting the ball. If it goes in, it's good. If it don't, and your game is shot. He don't want to be that type of player. He's got to mix it up a little bit. He got to fill up these other categories, get involved into the game, keep his head high, and stay aggressive. But he had a little bounce-back game from the other night as well, too. But it shouldn't be no problem with him averaging 25 points a game, in my opinion. He just got to get fine-tuned in some areas and kind of slow down and know where his spots hit on the floor and get to him. Jeff Green, 6 points. Come in, he gives you some solid minutes every time he comes in. Amon Thompson, 9 points. He's still trying to fill the game out a little bit, get some more experience. 4 rebounds, 1 steal. So got to continue to give him minutes because we can't see stardom in this guy. Once he feels the game, get comfortable in his game and comfortable on the floor, this guy can be a leader. He can definitely be a leader. And we don't expect a lot from him going down in upcoming seasons. And that's pretty much for the box sheet. Like I said, there's nothing to jump off on the box sheet. It just had a few guys that stepped up. And Curry, who slammed the door on us. Slammed the door on us. And Jalen Green able to find a few buckets and played aggressive. And that's what we're going to need from him. But bringing up the shooting percentage, hopefully that will come with him. And everything should be fine. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. You're going to have to keep plugging at it until you run across these teams that you can get. The Hornets are going to be coming up. That's a winnable game. A game you should look at and say we should win. They're not no big powerhouse. They're just like San Antonio and Orlando. They're in that little group of teams that you should beat and be better than if you want to make a play in or you're trying to get to the playoffs. But you just got to get that one win. You got to get on the winning side of things. And it seems like it's hard to come by, but you got to keep plugging at it and play hard. Because I guarantee you, they continue to play like they played against San Antonio and Sunday night against Golden State. You're going to fall into wins. The only thing is down in the fourth quarter when it's like 5 minutes left. You're going to have to bear down a little tighter, pay attention to details, hit your free throws, don't turn over the ball. Look at your assignments, knowing who they want to go to for points, getting that covered up. You will win more ball games. So once they get fine-tuned, they'll be fine. They'll be all right. But yes, it's been a very tough weekend sports-wise. A lot of teams I was rooting for was losing. I mean, the Eagles won. That's probably the only bright light of the weekend, but I expected them to win. I don't have to coach them through winning ball games or be on pins and needles. I know when a statement game is coming up, and I know when I need to bear down, like next week, matter of fact. They're playing the Cowboys. That's a huge game. That one I'm going to go in there all focused on. So that's a statement game right there. Always got to get up for statement games. But yes, Eagles and Cowboys, always a statement game when you play them. No doubt about it. I don't care what the record is. You want to beat them. So other than that, you know, sports good. I'm glad they're both back, football and basketball. it was just tough this weekend. It really was. I wanted the Rockets to go ahead and beat San Antonio and move forward, get on the win column. It didn't happen. Then you backdoor with this Golden State. And then you got the Texans coming off the bye week. You thought they was going to get some action going. It's been tough. But stay strong, like I say. Pay attention to your details. Continue to practice. Continue to work on your game. Focus on your assignments. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. You just got to believe and don't lose your focus. Because I know when you lose games back to back and you start getting the snowfall, your mind can play with you a little bit. Don't allow that to play with your mind. Stay focused, knowing y'all going to win ball games, knowing you're going to stay the course. It's going to fall right in your lap sooner or later. You're going to start getting the winning column. So yes, the Rockets dropped it 106-95 to the Golden State Warriors. And Monday Night Football got the Raiders and the Lions. Tune in on that one. Should be a good one. I mean, record-wise, they're probably not doing too well, but those two, when they match up, usually it's a pretty good ball game. So y'all enjoy y'all making it Monday. This is Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. Thanks for y'all time, and we out of here. Peace.